ancestor Fuxi. The emergence of human beings has made the world full of vitality. And at the same time, there are more and more gods on earth. Because humans were created by the goddess Nuwa, she gave them life and endowed them with the dignity of the spirit of all things. So other gods are also very concerned about human life. Among these gods, humans particularly respect the 3 sovereigns and 5 emperors. There are various different opinions about the 3 sovereigns and 5 emperors. The most widely circulated one is that the ancestor Fuxi, Emperor Yan, Shennong, and Emperor Huang are the 3 sovereigns, and Shaohao, Zhuanshu, Gao Qin, Yao, and Shun are the 5 emperors. Legend has it that tens of millions of miles northwest of China, there is a paradise where there is a Huachu country. This is a country full of mystery. In terms of the physical strength of the person concerned, whether you are by car or by boat, you can't get there. Only gods, because they have magical and extraordinary abilities, can go to such a distant place. Huachu country has no king or any level of leader, and everyone lives together naturally. The people of Huachu have no greedy desires, and they live happily and self-sufficiently. They live a life of knowing their destiny and following their nature. They are not complacent about being alive, nor do they worry about death. So everyone has a long life. Since the people of Huachu can live and deal with others in a natural and simple way, and truly live without distractions, they have achieved a harmonious state with the surrounding environment and nature. Moreover, they all have abilities beyond ordinary people, and can freely go in water and fire without being drowned or burned. They walk in the sky as if walking on flat ground. Clouds and fog cannot block their sight, and thunder and lightning cannot interfere with their hearing. Fuxi's mother is a woman from Huachu country named Huachu. Huachu has lived in a well-off country since she was a child. Huachu lived in the country of Yue, so she had a graceful temperament and charm. She traveled between heaven and earth every day to visit famous mountains and rivers, and admired the wonderful and magnificent natural scenery. Once, she went to a large swamp called Lays in the east to play, and accidentally saw a giant's footprint by the swamp. Because the footprint was so large, Huachu found it very interesting, so she stepped on it curiously. Who knew that as soon as she stepped on it, she suddenly felt a strange feeling in her body, and her abdomen palpitated. Later, after 10 months of pregnancy, she gave birth to a son named Fuxi. Fuxi's father was the god who left the huge footprint. He is the master of lays, with a human head and a dragon body, half human and half beast. Fuxi was born with a strange. The elephant has a human head and a snake body. He has supernatural powers since he was a child. This supernatural power comes from his father. When Fuxi was very young, he could freely go between heaven and earth along the ladder. The ladder connecting gods and humans is actually on the top of the majestic Kunlun mountain. There is a big tree called Jianmu. It is unknown how high this tree is. The purple-brown trunk goes straight into the sky. This tree is also very magical. It grows in the Duguang wilderness in the southwest. It is said that it is the center of heaven and earth. Various grains and fruits grow there all year round, and all kinds of auspicious birds and beasts gather together. Jianmu is the most eye-catching among them. Its slender branches rise straight into the sky. There are no extra branches on both sides, only at the top of the tree. It has branches that are intertwined like umbrellas. If you gently pull its branches, soft bark will fall off, like a tassel or a yellow snake. This Jianmu, located in the center of heaven and earth, is the ladder for all the emperors to go to heaven or to the earth. When Fuxi grew up, he became the emperor of the East. Since he is the king of all people, he should naturally seek benefits for the people of the world and embody his kingly wisdom to improve people's living conditions. At that time, people lived by hunting, fishing, and gathering wild fruits. The changing seasons and harsh natural environment made it impossible for people to obtain a stable source of food at all times. Therefore, Fuxi began to seek a way out for people. He tried to cross ropes and knot them, and gradually formed a net-like thing, which he used to catch fish in the water, greatly improving his efficiency. Fuxi also applied it to catching birds. In this way, people expanded the source of food and enriched the variety of food. After the source of food became relatively stable, Fuxi invented new cooking methods, changed people's eating habits, and made food easier to digest and absorb by the human body. Fuxi was not only a wise emperor of heaven, but also a great cultural ancestor. He knew astronomy and geography, studied the virtues of gods, and was familiar with the natural laws of all things in the world. He invented the 8 trigrams, with the symbol Qian representing heaven, Kun representing earth, and Kan representing water. Li represents water. Li represents fire. Zhen represents mountain. Zhen represents thunder, represents wind, and Dui represents marsh. Fuxi taught people to use these symbols to record everything, replacing the previous knotted ropes to record events. Let people use the 8 trigrams to predict good and bad luck, hoping to get the revelation of God's will. In addition, he also imitated spiders to weave webs, weaving ropes into webs, and taught people to fish and hunt. He and Nuwa invented the zither and composed music for rituals, religion, divination, witchcraft, and other activities. He established surnames and divided people into different clans, and he named himself Feng. His many initiatives opened up the earliest cultural activities of mankind and enabled our ancestors to move from barbarism to early civilization. All of these can illustrate the contribution our ancestor Fuxi made to mankind. Contributions are not limited to the material level of survival. He also made an indelible contribution to the progress of human spiritual civilization. As the first emperor to shepherd the people for the heaven, Fuxi took the initiative to abdicate the throne to a capable person after he was old. He also became the emperor of the East, and together with the wood god Ju, he governed the 12,000 miles of the East, and was in charge of the spring, with flowers blooming all year round. In addition, Fuxi concentrated on the characteristics of several animals that people liked at that time, and created a complex of many animal characteristics, such as horsehead, deer antlers, snake body, fish scales, eagle claws, and fishtail, calling it dragon, and called himself Dragon Master. From then on, the dragon became the totem of the Huaxia people, and the Chinese nation began to call itself the descendants of the dragon.